Thank you so much. And now I request our IT advisor, Sri J. Satyanarayana Garu, to come on stage and give the opening remarks.
Honorable Chief Minister, Honorable Minister for IT, all the distinguished guests, really it's a very important moment in the history of Andhra Pradesh. It's not an event today, it is a journey. Like any major IT initiative is. It never stops. Does have a beginning, but its end is really undecided, undefined. So I would like to talk about the e-Pragati journey today. In fact, I have been on the IT journey along with the Honorable Chief Minister. I have the rarest of the privileges to be working with him for more than 20 years on the IT road, and still we have not reached our destination. We are going on, traveling. I don't know where we'll reach. e-Pragati is like that. It's a journey. We embarked upon 4 years ago. We went through a lot of trials and tribulations in the process. As I will take you, I have just only 3 slides to take you through the journey of e-Pragati. So just watch this. This was the question. Should we do piece by piece or should we go for the big picture? Very early when he came to power in this term. So on about 20th of August, we had the initial meeting, and on 27th of August, I made this presentation to him. And when he said, what can we do differently this time, in this term, 5 years? So I put this question, should we do individual pieces, pick up healthcare, pick up rural development, pick up urban development and do some pieces there? Or should we go for the big kill? So his question, his reply was of course obvious that he will not settle for something small. So he said, let us create that vision like the Taj and then build bit by bit, block by block. So then came the idea. This was the very first cut version of the, it is 4 years old. It has evolved over much over these 4 years, which I will show in the next slide. But the point is that at that time we had this big picture vision on 27th of August 2014, which had different layers at that time conceptualized like this to serve the 7 missions of the Sunrise Andhra Pradesh. Now let us look at the journey it has taken so far. What kind of milestones have we crossed and what kind of problems we had in this. So as I said, it all started in August 2014 in the conversation and a presentation to the Honorable Chief Minister, where the concept was born in this fashion. It was called APSEA, AP State Enterprise Architecture. The name e-Pragati didn't exist at the time. Day one, I had given that name APSEA. And we got the Wipro on board in February 2015 through a process, and then hundreds and hundreds of meetings. The amount of time that the Honorable Chief Minister used to give to conceptualize, to give strength to the whole ideas was amazing. So with the help of Wipro, which did a commendable job in creating this, and also the name e-Pragati was incidentally born in one of those meetings, born out of one of those meetings. I must mention the name of Dr. Pallav Saha, who spontaneously gave the name. When we were searching for names, he said, e-Pragati. So it stuck. And the Honorable CM immediately was happy to endorse that later. So it was consisting of 14 packages and 72 projects at that time, the way it was conceptualized. And a lot of detail was built with the help of Wipro. I must really appreciate the work and contribution they made in initially shaping this idea. Because having a vague idea or a vision is something. Drilling it down to minute detail is, takes a lot of effort and, dedication. The third stage is very soon. All these events happened very soon, quickly. As you see, September 2015, the proposal approved by the cabinet comprehensively. Never such a large e-governance program was envisaged. And very soon thereafter, in October 2015, we had the launch in Vizag. So on the day of the launch, I made a small presentation also. I said that it is the biggest digital dream ever dreamt by any person. And it's very, very daring. So we created this wave structure at that time, which I have shown you on the right side on the 9th of October. Sorry, it's not 18, but 14. So it had 4 waves of development we envisaged with a central core in the yellow there. So you see the evolution from where we started and where we are progressing there. Then after this, I must say there was some kind of a gap. There was a kind of a lull, but we were almost giving up. But there was one person in this state who was not willing to give up, I must say. In one meeting, I also said, "Sir, let us give it up." He said, "No question of giving it up. That's not in my DNA. Forget." You remember, sir? You said once. So, with that we went on, and then came the Honorable Minister took one in August 2017. He took a very critical decision. He gave us only one day. He said, there are a lot of issues why it is stopped. Resolve it by 5 p.m. today. Come back. I don't know the detail. You people come back. So Vijayanand, me, Bala, everybody sat down. 5 p.m. sharp, he came back. I said, "Sir, the problem is solved. Let us have a cup of tea and it's over. Meeting is over." So that's how issues got resolved, and I must really mention at this point because it showed the way forward for us. So with that, we went forward, and in November, we had the EY and PEGA team on board. And then since April, Honorable Chief Minister again took very deep interest. Must really produce quick results now. So we redefined the architecture, and it's really credible. We are all half this room is full of technologists. But a person who is not a technologist coming up with, we had defined core here, yellow portion. We showed it, he said, "This core is 3-4 years old. Is it core? Should it have something more? Can you think about it? Come back to me in 1 week." So we came up with the idea of a logical core, which you see in the middle there, which is much bigger. It would not have occurred but to a very deep technologies. There is a physical core, which we are inaugurating today, but a bigger logical core, which is only deep technologies will have that vision. I really appreciate that we reconfigured the whole architecture as a result on 27th of April this year. And then we are here today launching the physical core, as it were, of the PRAGATHI project. That's how it has gone through. It had a lot of trials and tribulations, a lot of testing times, but persistence is what brought us here today. We could have given up several times in that route, but we have not given up because the persistence of one person which made all the difference. I want to personally bring this to the notice because not known in this fashion to others. So this is the kind of a trajectory through which the whole PRAGATHI has gone, and it has, I don't think we have hit the roof there. We are still at the bottom. We have still 80% of the way to go. That's my own impression. We have done 20% of the journey, 80% to go. A lot of departments to come and get integrated with this particular portal. Then we have the results. So lastly, I want to tell you, what is my impression of the way forward. We are, doing so many projects in the state, and also at the national level, I'm associated with larger projects. So as I see it, these are the 3 things. The first one is the essence of the enterprise architecture has to be realized in full. It cannot be sacrificed or compromised for any short-term effects and benefits. Which means there are three key things there which should not be compromised. One is the abstraction of the services. Service should be taken to one level above. If you are talking of agriculture department, talk of primary sector. If you are talking of elementary education, talk of education sector as a whole, and so on. Abstract it to one level, two levels higher. Then you get the advantage of enterprise architecture. If you do service by service in a discrete matter, it's not enterprise architecture. It's software, good software, best software, period. It's not enterprise architecture. Second is integration, which Honorable Chief Minister has been on from day one, 27th August 2014, I am telling. Let us do something with integration. That is the spirit of enterprise architecture. That is the heart of enterprise architecture. Third is orchestration. How do you see that the same look and feel and digital transformation happens? Services are properly orchestrated. Fortunately, in the core that is being released today, we have several components that strengthen this orchestration capability in the e-portal e-PRAGATHI portal that is being launched today, as well as the App Store and several other components. Orchestration is very important. End of the day, we should not confuse the citizen with more and more things. We should make complex things simple for the citizen. That is the beauty of any portal. Make complex things simple for the citizen. That is the motto. And also, you must make complex government look friendly, simple, invisible to the citizen. That is the essence of enterprise architecture. So my submission today will be that we must all work towards realizing that essence of enterprise architecture. Point number one. Point number two, when it comes to the various services with the departments who are all present here today, process reengineering is the need of the hour. We have everything else. But if you take old process, put it in a new platform, it doesn't make a difference to the outside world. It is only a digital mess rather than a physical mess. So, process reengineering is the most important thing at this point of time. Otherwise, we run the risk of old wine in new bottle, as they say. The third and last one is we need to have, platform is fine. EY and PEGA will do that. They will give the support from central location. But that's not the be-all and end-all. The capability should be there in the various departments and agencies which need to consume, which need to exploit this powerful platform. When they called me for asked me for a tagline for this core, I suggested the power of transformation should be the tagline. PRAGATHI core, the power of transformation. The core gives you the power of transformation. Use that power fully, not marginally. Otherwise, we are wasting very valuable resources. So we need to build that capacity in the departments so that they have people who can really exploit the power of that core and the power of the transformation and give the benefit to the people of this state. So thank you very much. We have come a long way, I would say, though it has taken, in my own assessment, we have taken more time than we should have taken, frankly. But better be there rather than never. We are there in the right direction, with the right intention, and I'm sure that will produce good results and good impact going forward. And this is a digital dream, 20% of which is on 9th of October, sir, I mentioned that it's a big digital dream. My own assessment is we have achieved 20% of the dream as of now. 80% is there to go further. Lastly, I would say this. I need not mention who is the person I am referring to here. Persistence is the twin sister of excellence. When you believe that your vision is correct, persist, persist, persist. That is what our Honorable Chief Minister is doing and continue to do so. And that is our strength. And we for sure will reach the stage where we have got the excellence in this project and other projects as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for such wonderful insights and inspirational words. And now I request Sri Nara Lokesh Garu, our IT Minister, Government of Andhra Pradesh, and Sri N. Balasubramanian Garu to come on stage and give the keynote session.
Even though some of the citizen services are computerized and online today, these are scattered across different department portals and software applications. There is no single source to access all services from one portal. My AP Citizen Services portal is a single access point bringing all digitally transformed services. With digital transformation, you can avoid visiting government offices and achieve instant service delivery while not having to fill lengthy forms. Imagine with just a single sign-on, which is either Aadhaar or eKYC driven, citizens can access G2C, G2B services, and government employees can access G2G services. It's now a simple three-step journey from finding a service to completing the transaction. The service delivery time is magically reduced from days to minutes and seconds. My AP portal will help achieve higher citizen happiness index through visible governance, invisible government.
Good morning, everyone. To all the dignitaries here, to the Honorable Chief Minister. It gives me great honor that we are finally able to launch the core platform. As J. Satyanarayana Garu rightly put it, if not for the persistence of the Honorable Chief Minister, we wouldn't have come here. You know, there were days when even I went through challenges and I told the Honorable Chief Minister that this is an election year, so we might want to, spend more time on different things. But he said, absolutely not. PRAGATHI will transform governance in Andhra Pradesh, and he kept pushing us in that right direction, and that's why we are all here today. So here we are to launch the My Andhra Pradesh portal. All of us know Mr. Naidu is the father of governance 1.0. Me Seva, as today we call it, it started with something called E-Seva. E-Seva was trying to create a front end where citizens can simply just pay the power bills, telephone bills, or basic certificates. But of course, Mr. Naidu is back with a bang. He is now talking about governance 2.0, and this is what we are now transforming. This comes in the back that no government on this planet is trying to do what we are trying to achieve here. I think the only government that's even coming close to this is the British government, trying to create one single portal for 23 services. But we in the state of Andhra Pradesh today are integrating 34 departments and creating a single front end that makes it seamless for the citizens. We'll go to the next slide. You need to go back. Yeah. The whole idea that we're trying to now do is to create a uniform user experience, an omni-channel mechanism to the entire platform. I think we skipped a few slides. No, who has the clicker? Okay. I think they have a slides upside down, and my apologies for that. But the whole idea is that the portal becomes a gateway for all the government services. And the mechanism that we want to do is be the single face of government. This is where we envisage that the front end becomes a very, very critical platform. And here Aadhaar will play a very, very important role. And I'm glad that J. Satyanarayana Garu could make it to this wonderful event. As more and more we see that as a key in digital transformation. And technology is no longer going to be just about, the citizens in the urban centers. It's about how do we take technology for the masses? How do we make it more icon friendly than citizens actually having to read? And this is something that we are really, really excited to do in ePragati. As J. Satyanarayana Garu just put it, the Chief Minister has a tagline. He says, visible governance, invisible government. I think it's very, very powerful. Visible governance, invisible government. And this is what we are now trying to achieve through the ePragati core platform.
Thank you, sir. Sir, the MyAP portal is the gateway for all the AP government services. It is at one window, one marketplace where all the services from the government are available to the citizen. It is also the face of the government, and Aadhaar is the entry key for the service, availing the services. We enable the services to be served through English as well as through the local languages Telugu and also Rashtra Bhasha Hindi, and other languages we will keep on adding for them. The services are categorized into various buckets. The first bucket is according to the roles. A citizen can have a different avatars. He can be a farmer, he could be an industrialist, he could be a businessman, he could be a parent. So the services are categorized as per the roles, as also as per the life events. Services are categorized for birth certificates, for marriage certificates, for different life events, graduation, etc., etc. And the services are also categorized traditionally as per the sectors: education sector, agriculture sector, industry sector, welfare sector, etc. And when the citizen comes onto this portal, all the frequently accessed services by him would be put into a bouquet and then offered to him. Most importantly, sir, the last time when we were discussing about the one portal, Honorable CM sir has directed, it is just not offering the service, we have to be proactive. And what he meant by proactive was that the alert should go to the citizen that he deserves a particular kind of service even if he does not know. The alert has to go to him. The government has to be proactive in telling the citizen that there is a service which you deserve, please avail it. That's the form of government that CM sir has envisaged. Built on the PEGA platform, all the services delivery will happen through this one particular window, and the look and feel of all the services would remain uniform so that the experience is pleasant. And we are also going to use a few other technologies like chatbots, where when the citizen logs into the portal, he is going to have the help and support in the form of a chatbot that is going to be available to him. We are also putting up an artificial intelligence layer which will help him to, which will help the system to predict what is his next service requirement. And we are also going to bring in the blockchain technologies. And one of the most important things that the Honorable CM sir has always requested is, look, there are a good number of people who are digitally illiterate. How do you make this accessible to them? I want a voice integration with these portals, wherein the person comes, talks to the voice assistant and says, I would like to have a driving license. I would like to have a birth certificate. And it should lead to the service and completion of the service. Yes, sir, this is on the roadmap. We are going to integrate the voice assistant natural language programming algorithms into this.
App Store. There are several apps by departments hosted on Google Play Store or Apple Store. But how would a citizen even know which apps are authentic, safe and secure? App Store is a proprietary mobile app store of the Government of Andhra Pradesh and the single source for all G2C and G2B apps. A web-based App Store developer portal is dedicated to innovators and startups, creating an opportunity not only to innovate, looking forward to see the birth of Flipkarts, Olas and Ubers of the world. Through this ecosystem, citizens can easily access the App Store, and departments can onboard their existing mobile apps onto the App Store or build new apps and onboard them.
So from day one, the Honorable Chief Minister was quite clear that e-Pragati should not just remain a government platform or a government-owned platform. He said you should enable youngsters, young minds to use data and enable them to offer services to the citizens of Andhra Pradesh. The whole idea of the App Store is that we are in midst of the entire app generation, as we call it. And more government services will now come on board. And we believe that this will not only create the ecosystem, but will create the next generation of app entrepreneurs. We envisage close to 100 different apps that are going to get created across various fields. And this is something that no government has really looked at achieving. And this is again something very, very close to our Honorable Chief Minister's heart.
Thank you, sir. So the App Store is a marketplace for all the apps which are developed by the government of Andhra Pradesh. Now, these apps are owned by the departments. They determine what kind of services could get into the mobile apps and what are to be placed in this App Store. So the department is the actual owner of all these apps which come onto the App Stores while we provide the technology. The technology would enable app management in terms of creation of the app, in terms of retiring the app, in terms of providing the user accesses and privileges to the app, etc. And it would also enable the user registration for the citizen to get registered and have access to all the apps or different categories of apps out there. Most importantly, sir, the IT Minister has directed, apart from one of the most important things that he had envisaged in the state was to bring the entrepreneurs on the digital side of it. So he said, when we are creating this data, when we are creating the App Store platform, why we should not be encouraging the entrepreneurs? So currently the platform also envisages developers to come on board and develop apps accessing the data which are determined by the department to be shared with the public. On the department's clearance of sharing the data to the public, those things will be made available to the public and the crowd will start now developing the apps, thus sparking of the entrepreneurship. The apps will be by default with Android and iOS platforms, sir. We have acquired the iOS enterprise license also, and the apps will be tested for the security, etc. So it's a goodbye to all the fake apps.
Certificate-less governance system. For student admission in Education Department, a student has to submit proof of birth, caste, mark sheets as a proof of fact. Imagine the same student not having to provide any of these and still complete the admission process. CLGS eliminates the need for citizens and businesses to submit or attach various certificates as a proof of a fact. It is a DigiLocker for all certificates. The certificate-less governance system will lead to the abolition of most of the certificates and establish a certificate-less society across the state of Andhra Pradesh. It aims to get rid of verification, minimize the usage of physical documents or electronic formats across the stakeholders, finally ending the possibility of fake documents by verifying government-issued documents online. Move towards a certificate-less society with service-less services.
We are all of a generation where if we lost any certificates, our parents would have taken us to task. Because trying to get a replacement certificate was a big, big process. This is something we have inherited from the British Raj, where we have to actually prove we are citizens of India. And this is something that we have sort of continued with. This legacy has lived along. But not anymore in Andhra Pradesh. 120 certificates will come into a central platform, and all you have to do is use your thumb, and that will be a single certificate. And thanks to the work done at UID for this, we no longer have to worry about carrying, storing, preserving our certificates. So across any platform, it could be with the education department, it could be with the health department, we can create a seamless, secure process through which certificates can actually be delivered. And this will enable us to root out the entire challenges that we're facing with fake certificates. And all these certificates, in the first of its kind, will actually end up being on a blockchain. And that's something that we're really, really excited to launch as part of this certificate-less platform.
Sir, the creator management for the certificates, the departments continue to remain the owner of these certificates. They determine the entire life cycle of the certificate, what kind of certificates to be created, what to retire, how to be managed, how to be reissued, what are the conditions for reissuing, etc. All those things would be determined by the departments. The consumer management, who accesses it, who stores it where, etc., is also brought out in the consumer management. One of the most important things, sir, like the Honorable IT Minister was saying, that it's a pain to carry all these certificates. Now we said, okay, in Andhra Pradesh, we eliminate the certificates and the physical form of the certificates. But what if he goes to some other states which is not caught up with Andhra Pradesh? Does he require to carry this bunch of certificates? Honorable CM sir said, no. You have to give the comfort to the citizen of Andhra Pradesh that he need not carry these certificates anymore. Then came in the CLGS locker, wherein all these certificates will be stored into the digital locker for the citizen, and he can access the certificates from wherever he wants across this globe. And, sir, and as IT Minister has pointed out, since the certificate is blockchain, the trustness of the genuinity of the is stamped on the certificate with the blockchain, the verification becomes easy, especially for those students who are going abroad for their studies. So that's the certificate-less governance vision of the government of Andhra Pradesh. And all the certificates will also have a QR code. In one of those meetings in the late evening, the Honorable CM said that the certificate must have a QR code so that the genuinity of the data on the certificate can be called from the database. So every certificate now comes essentially with a QR code. So wherever you take them, just any normal QR scanner from your mobile phone, you can understand whether the certificate is genuine or fake. Thank you.
License management system. In the absence of a common shared system that can create and manage licenses and permits, it is very difficult to get a view of the whole of government. PRAGATHI's license management system, also known as LMS, is a framework to manage entire life cycle of licenses and permits. It enables proactive renewal of licenses, automated alerts, and notifications for citizens, powered by automated workflows. Drag and drop features needing minimal configuration, any department can design applications, configure SLAs, send alerts and reminders on inspection, verification, approval, renewal or rejection. Licensing process being made efficient, transparent and fast for citizens and businesses by the Government of Andhra Pradesh.
As we all know, Andhra Pradesh is now #1 in ease of doing business. This is something that's not new for our state, but something that all of you should actually look at is Andhra Pradesh got the highest score in terms of feedback from industry, with good 4% lead compared to our closest state. The CM has always been very, very clear. His target to all the departments is that Andhra Pradesh should be a distant #1. This means we have to really compete with the best-in-class countries, like what we have seen in Singapore, what you're now seeing in the US. He's very, very clear that we need to now compete with them. And that's where the entire license management system plays a very, very critical role. As you've seen from the entire life cycle of the certificate, how do we monitor, manage this effectively is going to be critical. And as a state, we're really looking forward to this. And we also believe that majority of the people who do not renew their license, the biggest challenge that they face with is that they don't know when to renew. They don't have any reminder from the department. So through the license management system, we are actually going to send reminders to companies saying, this license is actually up for renewal and you can just go and do this online. So this is again, that's going to be very, very unique to our state. 60 plus licenses will actually end up coming online. And we're pretty confident that with this system, we'll live up to the Honorable Chief Minister's expectation, which is Andhra Pradesh should be number one in ease of doing business, not only in the country, but on the planet.
Sir, many a time, all of you know that if you want to apply for the license, it's pretty difficult to figure out what are the supporting documents that you got to put in. Most of the time, the fields which are there in the license forms, for the citizen, it becomes a big mystery to figure out what is to be entered into that particular field. The license management framework, which is designed by in-house by PEGA, thanks to Krish and his team, it's a framework where the form design becomes pretty easier. It's a drag and drop way of building the forms, and also the fields are now to be simplified based on the department's directions. Once the standardization happens, the licenses issual, renewal, suspension, cancellations, enhancement of these licenses, etc. All of those things can be achieved from the online application for the licenses. The framework would allow that, and the license workflow has been standardized, and the processes of approval are also brought out to the minimals. So the framework will give you the flexibility of allowing compliance to the conditions of the department, but at the same time automate it in its rendering of the license. We are also going to create a repository where all the licenses of the citizen is going to be mapped out, and all the licenses which are granted by the department will also be part and parcel of this repository. Finally, as Sir has mentioned, the ease of doing business. Most of the time, the ease of doing business is also directly proportional to the number of inspections and the intensity of the inspections that we carry on one's premises after issuing or before issuing the licenses. The endeavor here is to create a framework where the inspections becomes minimal, only to the extent that is required, while most of the inspections will be done by the system through its connects with various departments and to the Google Maps and other outside enablers. So the license framework has been created for almost about 130 licenses. Some of them, what we hear from the departments, required to be retired because those licenses are no longer valid, while for the other licenses, this framework is available as a quick, ready to use just through a drag and drop. Thank you.
E-highway. Multiple departments with different data sets and models make systems built on them incapable of seamlessly accessing the information. In the absence of all data modeled into one unit, it's almost impossible to make sense of data and generate analytics and actionable insights across departments. The vision of e-highway is to democratize data and securely open it up to startups, enterprises, and innovators for innovation. E-highway is the core component behind integration architecture that aims to create one government, a single source of truth, cross-cutting services, and common applications. Seamless exchange of data between citizen and government with enhanced consistency, accuracy, and integrity. Enabled with e-highway by the government of Andhra Pradesh.
You know, when I joined the Honorable Chief Minister's cabinet exactly 15 months back, the biggest challenge that I noticed is visibility of data. You know, we have no idea what data points the other departments are collecting. For me as Panchayat Raj and Rural Development Minister, I didn't have an idea that the health department was actually collecting data on the quality of water, drinking water system. So this is where we felt that having a information highway is going to play a very, very critical role. This enables departments to actually work in a more cohesive manner, exchange data real time, exchange data that's going to be critical to each of our departments, and actually formulate a cross-functional action plan, which I think will get more and more critical. As economies evolve, as we move from being a developing economy to a developed economy, challenges are going to get transformed. And for this, we believe that democratization of data is going to become equally important. In our own department in Panchayat Raj and Rural Development, we have developed enormous dashboards. And these have become public dashboards. So there's a lot of social policing that has come into it. And there's true competitive spirit that has now developed among collectors to really deliver. So these are a few examples of how we are able to achieve this. These APIs are actually going to be opened out to, again, entrepreneurs. They can develop various other platforms like App Store. They can develop services to the citizens. And we believe that close to 100 plus APIs will open up during this entire journey.
We believe that data is the most sacred thing on this earth next to God. You can destroy applications, you can destroy technologies, you can retire technologies, you can retire applications, but not the data. Data is sacrosanct. Hence, the thirst for data, the request for data is ever mounting. Honorable CM sir said, between department to department, there should not be any legwork, there should not be any request, there should be a seamless transfer of data from one government to another government department upon validation that it's a government department that's requesting for this data. Hence, the e-highway was created to facilitate the data exchange. Data exchange dynamically from any to any. When I say any to any, it is department to the citizen, department to a business, department to department, technology to technology, service to service, etc. Device to device, any to any. So it's a dynamic data exchange with an any to any feature. And we have a catalog of all the APIs with us, which will be published in this e-highway framework. And the department still continues to own the data. It's only that it is providing an access to it, and a strong security mechanism will be laid out for sharing of this data. And also a governance framework is worked out now with the given protocols, accesses and rights for who has to access what kind of data, etc. Thank you. We also have all different formats and technologies like SAP, Microsoft, and IoT, etc. All kinds of data exchange would happen here. Thank you.
Datalytics. Decision-making is still a manual process in spite of the terabytes of data available in the government databases. So, is there a better way to leverage data to drive decisions and objective policy formation? The answer is a big yes. Capturing the data is at the source of data. Computer and IoT data science have advanced to generate predictive analytics that are context-aware. The objective of Datalytics project is to enable decision-making, help in objective policy formation and performance monitoring, and achieve sustainable development goals enabling real-time governance. Datalytics brings digital transformation in the area of decision and policy making for welfare of citizens, and thereby analyzing the performance of the department. Visible governance, invisible government.
From day one, the Honorable Chief Minister has been very clear that budgets are being allocated to various departments, but outcomes are never measured. And one thing he keeps pointing out in every meeting is to start discussing about outcomes. We have spent X amount of money on rural roads. What have been the outcome? Drinking water. His whole point has always been that how can we actually track outcomes real time? We already have about 1 million IoT devices in the field in the state of Andhra Pradesh. From groundwater, from quality of drinking water, to IMR, MMR, we're able to track multidimensional data and actually formulate policies and regulatory frameworks to work on this. And I must also admit that we are the only state that's doing census real time. We have something called the Praja Sadhikara Survey, where citizen records are tracked real time. Anyone who actually moves to the state of Andhra Pradesh can register. They can register in a fair price shop. They can register in a Me Seva center. This is an ongoing census. I believe it is one of the most accurate census on this planet. It is biometrically enabled census. And the beauty of this is we can actually then start doing analytics and do targeted projects. One project that we're about to launch in the state of Andhra Pradesh is the unemployment pension scheme. This is first of its kind. Many states have tried and failed. But in Andhra Pradesh, from August, we are actually going to launch this scheme where citizens can actually enroll online and they'll have absolutely no touch point with the government. And just think about it. You're talking about 1 million people. Even to do basic analytics in the erstwhile census data would have been virtually impossible. But with the availability of our data platform and analytics we're able to do, we are now able to raise a sharp focus in terms of delivery of this scheme. So this is something we're very, very excited. Over a period of time, close to 100 plus use cases will come out of this. In Panchayat Raj and rural development alone, we've used this technology to rationalize taxation at the grassroots level. And it's had profound impact.
Sir, in one of the meetings, Honorable CM said that, it is just not a digital transformation project. ePragati is just not a digital transformation project. Can I tell the farmers 6 months down the road, this could be the probable price of the agricultural produce, so hence you can go for this particular produce because the weather conditions, the climate, the rainfall, etc., and the energy conditions, etc., point out that you could grow these kind of crops. Or proactively tell the health department, based on this analytics, we see an outbreak of a particular disease during a particular season in a particular geographical area. Can we go and tackle that? So his emphasis has always been not just calling out for analytical reports based on the legacy data, but also on the predictive part of it. The other thing is, right from his first term onwards, what we have seen is CM was always interested in understanding how the departments perform. Sir has recently evolved the key performance metrics, and the performance of the department has to be matched with those KPIs. So the data analytics platform would help you to toggle your data to understand how you achieve these better KPIs, etc. As I said earlier, we treat data as sacrosanct. So we are going to create a data lake into which all the data, apart from the government data, we are also going to bring out all the publicly available data sets into the data lake. It could be structured data, it could be unstructured data, it could be media, it could be a streaming data, it could be a static data. So the entire technologies are geared up for different kinds of analytics on all these kinds of data. And the variety of sources that would come and form this data lake is going to be starting from structured data, which is the government data which would come in, then unstructured data which is published on the internet or on the Wikipedia or on various kinds of blogs to the social media, etc. All of them would be brought onto the data lakes. Apart from our data, data from other countries, data from other states which are published on the publicly available data sets, those things would be brought into the data lake for the analysis and the predictions. Thank you.
ePragati Cloud. ePragati's Cloud Data Center is a seamless, secure and scalable solution for departments using cloud computing. Designed to reduce IT infrastructure investment and cut costs by lowering the total cost of ownership, it helps cut down the overall spend on IT administration of the whole of government. Cloud, created to have 99.999% uptime for critical applications, including data, analytics, and citizen-facing services. It supports all kinds of hardware, operating systems, and on-demand software tools and services for testing, project management, and DevOps. It has high availability through containerization, robust bandwidth to support peak loads and high concurrences. Government of Andhra Pradesh, digitally transforming departments and citizen experience by bringing the power of cloud computing to your desktop and mobile.
We can safely say that Andhra Pradesh is the first government in India to be on a complete government cloud. And this is running on a tier 4 data center, Pi data center, which is in Amaravati. This was one of the very early decisions we've taken in the ministry, that we are no longer going to buy any servers in the government. And that was the way we've actually migrated all departments more and more onto this cloud platform. This enables us to really scale up. This enables us to launch new projects, offer new services without any challenges in terms of computing power. And all of us can safely say that many corporates are yet to move to cloud, but government of Andhra Pradesh today runs on cloud platform.
Sir, on the 6th of December 2014, when I just returned from US, Honorable CM Sir was holding a departmental review of the police department. I remember very well, the present DGP was also present during that meeting. I remember very well, Honorable CM Sir was talking about the cloud. And all the police officers seated in the room, we were zapped that whether we could move these things to the cloud. We were worried about the securities and the accessibility, etc., of the cloud. CM Sir spoke eloquently what are the uses of the cloud, how does it make the application high available, scalability part of it, etc. So we've taken all that vision of yours when we are building this ePragati cloud. It's a highly seamless and secure and scalable solution that we have built. We've also, we're also using certain technologies like Akamai and Kubernetes, and HP Synergy has provided the boxes for us. HP has provided the Synergy boxes, which is one of the best right now in the market, and the Kubernetes for doing your containerization and scaling up of your traffic when the traffic hits you. At one point of time, we were very worried with all these applications in one particular data center. How could we prevent a DDoS attack on us? Because that's a hacker's dream. All the applications of the government are available in one data center. It would be great to go and hack that. And a group like Anonymous is always doing it. Then came the solution for us in terms of Akamai to prevent the entire DDoS attacks. So all these technologies are now brought into our data center, sir. We propose to ensure that, we will ensure that the citizen will not be denied a service on account of infrastructure non-availability. We are aiming at 5 nines uptime, and we will achieve it. And we will, this is a direction given by you, sir, and we will achieve this. Thank you.
Core Dev Platform. It takes ages to build applications, not to forget the ever-evolving technologies and many other woes, including gathering requirements. With Core Dev Platform, every department can develop any web or mobile application at 7x speed as per their need, without worrying about identifying technologies, procurement of product licenses, manage hardware, or identifying system integrators. With support from ePragati, they can now simply write an RFP and work with an impaneled system integrator. Powered by Pega's business process management, workforce intelligence, decision management capabilities, developing new applications and services will now take days, not weeks or months. A unified no-code platform, one UX artifactory, visual models, and agile methodology help to build apps that are always up to date, easy to change, and ready to deploy where you need them. Core Development Platform leverages the power of digital process automation, artificial intelligence, big data, machine learning, robotic automation, blockchain technology to achieve visible governance, invisible government.
Just this morning, we met a service provider in the presence of the Honorable Chief Minister. Then he asked, how long do you think it will take to deploy a solution? In all my anxiety, I said, we'll do it in a month. Then the service provider was quite shocked. He said, sir, we need at least 3 months. Then the Honorable Chief Minister looked at us and said, we'll give you 1 week, deploy the solution. So for those who have already worked with our Chief Minister, you know the man is always on the move. New requirements do keep coming. One thing that's constant in Andhra Pradesh is change. And for that, we need to really create a robust platform. This is where we believe that the applications that we can today design can be done at 7x the speed. Even departments don't need to have tech-savvy individuals. We don't need PhDs to actually start developing world-class products. With the platform that we have chosen, we can radically integrate, we can deploy solutions, apps, like there's no tomorrow. And this again, something we believe that's going to be very unique. The biggest challenge that we see when we deploy a large-scale solution like this, and I'm sure quite a few corporates have their own ERPs, is licenses. The whole question comes back to is how expensive is it going to be? We have really standardized that. Departments don't need to worry about it. It's a responsibility of ePragati to ensure that licenses are of the past. And this is something we're really, really proud. And I'm pretty certain that we are the only state government actually implementing this solution also. Thank you.
Sir, I have to confess a few things here. After you appointed me as a CEO, and in the March first week when you held the meeting and you said, I want these things to be done by the end of this year, I actually went into a state of shock. We went back and almost for 2 months we went to a huddle to understand how do we translate the Honorable CM's vision of making these things real by the end of December. So there are 2 things that we figured out, that we require a technology where we can build the applications super fast, and after building them, because Honorable CM always said that I am not interested in silos. I want an integrated view. I want applications to be working as a symphony, like a symphony works. So we went into a huddle and then we figured out that there would be technologies that would help us for rapid application development as well as for the integration part of it. So we conducted a hackathon to select the vendor, and we selected some of the best technologies in terms of Pega, in terms of MuleSoft, and WSO2, the Hortonworks, etc. Those are the important technologies that form for us the entire platform. Like the IT minister has said, the infrastructure is common, available to all the departments. They need not worry about the licenses and the number of applications or the number of users or the number of codes it is going to take. ePragati would provide the technology as well as the hardware for developing the applications. We are also creating a government of AP layer inside this technology, sir, where all the reusable elements will be brought into the government of AP layer, so that that particular element, if it is to be reused by any other department, is just a drag and drop to start reusing it. By default, one of those things Honorable CM Sir has said is, by default, every application that you make must be available on a tab, must be available on a mobile. Fortunately, sir, for us, this technology allows us to, by default, generate a mobile app or an app on the tablet, both in Android as well as the iOS versions. Also, sir, when we are developing these applications on this particular platform, I remember very well the CEO of Pega has said that, Bala, never compromise on the guardrail scores. At that point of time, we had fixed the score at 90, and he said, make it 95 so that you get the right quality over there. And today, the guardrail scores for us stand at 95, which is the evaluation of the smartness of the code that is developed on the platform. And sir, as you said always, when we were discussing a couple of states, you asked what is the scale for which these applications cater to. Some of the vendors, they said, it's about 1.3 million or 2 million, etc. CM sir rightly pointed out the total population of Andhra Pradesh will be utilizing this. So next came the question of what should be the concurrency. For every application that we build on ePragati, the concurrency by default is 50,000 users for that microsecond for that particular module that's happening over there. That's the strength of the platform, sir, that we are offering from ePragati to all the departments. I would request all the departments to leverage this facility and gain in building up the applications at the speed of 7x compared to any other frameworks that we are going to use to build the applications. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for showing us what ePragati can do and why it is called the power of transformation and the mother of all digital platforms. Thank you so much. And now for the product demos, I first invite Academic Guidance Officer, Education Department, Government of Andhra Pradesh, Dr. Giri Garu, to come on stage and give his demo.
Honorable Chief Minister, Honorable IT Minister, dignitaries, PRAGATHI team, and friends. Good afternoon. As far as the Department of Collegiate Education is considered, there is a huge loss in terms of educational infrastructure, particularly in government colleges due to bifurcation. But with the vision and the meticulous planning of Honorable Chief Minister, there is a great progress in higher education in general and collegiate education in particular during the last 4 years. We got a cluster university, 6 new model degree colleges, 2 model degree colleges now. As per the Honorable CM's vision in making the state as education hub and a knowledge society, the CCE has implemented strategies of strengthening the existing colleges and establishing new colleges. As part of this, we have approached PRAGATHI for help in terms of the centralized admission. For that, unified application and admission process. We have got that common application. A student can choose which one he wants to apply. Here, there is no confusion for the students and the stakeholders. One application for multiple institutions, courses across the state. Avail benefits. Here, as per the students' eligibility, the information about hostels, scholarship, any other government benefits will be automatically here auto-generated and showed with the respective agencies. So, 0 certification submission by students, eligibility certificates, information like 10th standard, intermediate, and other like Aadhaar, income, caste, will be obtained from the source itself. No need for student carrying physical copies and uploading. One-click merit list generation. Centralized allocation processing can be done for entire state at once after following the rules of reservation in vogue. Within no time, merit list is getting generated immediately after closing the online application. Seat confirmation. A student can easily find the vacancy position of seats across the state. Centralized digital library learning management. The students and staff can easily be found the availability of books and whereabouts of books across the libraries of the state. Unified student hub and unified institution on hub. The students will able to find the various facilities available in the college across the state. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. May I now invite Commissioner Agriculture Marketing, Government of Andhra Pradesh, Sri Samuel Anand Garu to come on stage and give his demo.
Good afternoon, sir. Honorable Chief Minister, Honorable IT Minister, Honorable Satyanarayana Garu, and all the dignitaries. So I must say today is a great day for the retired employees of the marketing department because their long cherished dream of receiving their pensions online is going to be realized from August 1st onwards, sir. Thank you very much. I will not take much time, sir, because this process is well known. This is faster online disbursement through their bank accounts, and there is no chance for any mismanagement or overdrawal because the whole thing is automated and done through the digital signature of the Commissioner of Agriculture, Marketing, and automatic reconciliation of all these pension accounts is done. And the grievances of the pensioners are also settled online. And in addition to the features of government servants receiving pension through their bank accounts already, we have an additional window for the pensioners of the marketing department whereby they can update their profiles and their grievances are also addressed online. I thank the Honorable Chief Minister very much for making the dream of our retired employees a reality. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for such quick demo, sir. And now I request our Engineering in Chief, Panchayati Raj Government of Andhra Pradesh, Sri Venkateswar Rao Garu to come on stage and give away the memo.
Andariki Namaskaram. Honorable Chief Minister, Honorable PR and RD, IT Minister, other dignitaries. Today, Panchayat Raj Engineering Department is adopting work management system by integrating various activities right from proposal stage to completion, such as proposals, administrative sanction, technical sanction, tendering, execution, and monitoring. And thereby, the transparency will be there to all the stakeholders. Government can monitor the work's progress. Department function is right from AE to Chief Engineer level, can process the activity, and the contractors can have the accessibility regarding the reports, specifications, and drawings, everything. And quality auditing can also be done simultaneously, and bankers, funding agencies can monitor the works, and utilization of funds also can be done. And by integrating this to GIS platform also, the progress can be monitored online, and the stage of the work can also be tracked. And citizens can also raise their grievances regarding any quality issues, and the department will also have the exact location and where it has to be redressed. An e-measurement book. This is a digital book, where it's a paperless one, and it's the accessibility of round the clock and GIS mapping, and people can record digitally, and super check measurement and check measurement can be done digitally, and also the payment can be also done and raised to the PAO for making payments with quality certificates. Real-time monitoring. The stage-wise monitoring can be done at various levels, and the works are physical progress and financial progress can be also seen, whether it is as per the milestone also can be observed. So finally, the works can be seen, seen, and it can be completed in time without time overrun and without any extra cost and with good quality. And finally, it is an automation of work done from start to completion. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. May I now request our Honorable Secretary, Women Development and Child Welfare, Government of Andhra Pradesh, Srimati K. Sunita Garu, to come on stage and give the demo of the department.
Honorable Chief Minister, Honorable IT Minister, dignitaries, my PRAGATHI colleagues and all the officers here, very good afternoon. I'm dealing with the Child Welfare and Women Welfare Department, and for those who are familiar with this, it is about distribution of nutritious food to the children and to the women, and then monitoring the various stages of their malnutrition. Now, this is a very big task because it means that the whole of state of Andhra Pradesh, we have around we have around 55,607 Anganwadis, which are like a pre-school units, and we deal with 7.5 lakh women beneficiaries, 23 lakh children, and the staff at the village level are over 1 lakh. And this is a very big task. And now to analyze the nutritional status of the children, geographically, community-wise, gender-wise, and especially if you're looking at the vulnerable communities like the tribals and all, is very difficult. And the task given to me by my Honorable CM was that he wanted that these things should be done month-wise. I mean, it is unheard of. If you actually see the National Family Health Survey, they do it once in 5 years, and that too a sample survey. And here we are looking at all the 23 lakh children every month, and I was really at a loss. Our Chief Minister had sent us on the PRAGATHI training, where we read about the big data analytics and the geographical representation of the various data. And I felt, as on today, this was the best method to do it. And with the help of our IT Minister and Balasubramanian Garu, we launched this big data analytics. Our task was not only monitoring the nutritional status at the Anganwadi level, but also matching it up with the KPIs of underweight, wasted, and stunted. And the main 3 modules we did right now was the nutritional status analysis, the tribal area analysis, and the data entry and pattern analysis. Some of the solutions we have seen are, sorry, can you go here? Can you go there? Yeah, you choose from places. Yeah. So some of the things we had done were the height, weight, age, and gender analysis, and the quarter-wise, the malnourishment trend analysis. Yeah. If you see this, this shows the first part, the blue part shows the malnourishment district-wise, and the pie chart shows the community-wise, and the small red there show the underweight, then the wasted, and the stunted categories. And the below ones show the year-wise, quarter-wise, the bar graph, the line graph shows the quarter-wise trend of the malnutrition, the stunting, and the wasting. We also did for the tribal areas. The emphasis on the tribal areas was because 34% of the malnourished people were found to be from the tribal areas, and it's a big challenge in terms of the terrain and the number of Anganwadis available there. And that's why we give special this thing to the tribal areas, and we have around 6 tribal ITDAs, and in these tribal ITDAs again, whenever our Chief Minister say which is the best one, which is the worst one, through this we were able to say that the best one here was East Godavari and the worst one was Vijayanagaram. And we were able to also give in these tribal areas, if you see, the normal the normal underweight was 11%, but in the tribal areas it was more, 12.4. Similarly, the wasted and the stunted also in the tribal areas were higher. And next one. And then when we went to the age-wise analysis, in the age-wise, again, malnourished status, we found that the children between the 7 months onwards till 24 months, that's the time when they start crawling and going around and they're prone to various things like dysentery and other things. And that's the time when they lose their weight and have health problems. That is the time, again, we find that in the plotting that their malnourishment has increased. The stunted analysis also showed that this is for the last years, that due to the care and the starting of a feeding program called Anna Amruta Hastam, where hot cooked meal was being given to the children and the women, the normal children, the graph has improved and the malnutrition has gone down. The top one is the normal children, the graph has improved. The below one is the malnutrition, where it has gone down. Similarly, in the wasted also, this showed that in the second quarter, this second quarter roughly coincides with the rainy season, where there's a lot of contamination of water sources. And so again, we find that the normal children, the malnutrition levels have gone up, but in third and fourth, they have improved. The underweight analysis also showed that the normal children, this thing is not very, I'm not really sure of that, but the overweight, they showed that the fourth quarter onwards, the overweight is growing. And this is one of the problems today. While there is a decrease in malnutrition, there is also an increase in overweight, and the districts with the highest overweight has been shown to be Krishna, and the least one is Vijayanagaram. So in our anxiousness to feed children and women, we should not overfeed them. I think that is one of the indicators which has been thrown here. We are also not trying to just make an app or a solution in which everything is just portrayed, but we also wanted to validate our data. So we have gone through the data delinquencies and we started plotting all those areas where they were showing decreasing height, decreasing age, change of gender. Again, for those who have not worked in this department or in the government, it is very well known that wherever every month there is a need for adding in data, many of the government functionaries just happen to just change the numbers a little this side and that side, and then they don't even go to the field and actually measure it. This is also especially known to those people who have worked in the fields, that the village accountant generally books the crop without even going to the village. He just writes whatever he thinks is okay with that person. So to avoid this kinds of data inconsistencies, we have done this, and we find that in the data inconsistencies, we found that about roughly 80% of our data was okay. 20% was what was inconsistent. And the beauty of the application was this 20%, we could drill down till the Anganwadi and say this 20%, these are the number of clients which have been wrongly entered. And you can just imagine the kind of surprise the officers had when we showed them on the screen and said, these are all the beneficiaries, you have given the wrong height or age or gender. And this, we said, height cannot decrease, and you've showed height is decreasing. That means this is definitely wrong. Age doesn't decrease, and they had showed it as decreasing, and that's how it is wrong. And gender, they had changed it from male and female, and we said that definitely at that level of that 6 months to 6 years, this is not possible. So this is where we caught them, and I'm sure they will be a little more wary of doing such changes just offline, just to feed some figure there. Now, the key benefits of all this was we were able to monitor up to the micro level. It's simply impossible to think of monitoring about 55,607 Anganwadis. There are about 4-5 Anganwadis per village. It's not possible to say just do it manually, and it's only possible with a technical solution, and this is what we were able to get here. We are also able to focus on the geographic areas. So which is the, the worst area with the most malnourishment, which is the area with better management. We found that Kurnool was the worst affected in terms of geographic location, and in terms of the best nutrition, we found Krishna was the best. In terms of age group, as I had shown you earlier, 7 months onwards, we found that they are a little more vulnerable. And the other vulnerable was the community-wise. We found, to our surprise, that minorities were a little better than the other communities in terms of their nutrition levels. The STs, as was expected, was the worst, and the next was followed by the SCs, and OCs also were better than the other people. So if a focused approach was taken and selectively these communities were addressed first, the chance was that the nutrition levels were bound to improve much better. Then it is today much more easy to hold the staff accountable. The earlier system, when I joined, probably we would have had layers and layers of inspections, and the supervisors inspecting the Anganwadis and so on and so forth. Now this kind of layers of inspection is simply not possible today and not necessary today, and this is done through a very nice way in which we show them what is being done, and it's also a very nice way of recognizing the top performers and slow movers. For awards or other things, we can always say that this is the persons who have done it, and also for finalizing the data accuracy patterns. I thank everybody for giving me this opportunity, and I take my leave. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, working for a great cause. And now I request our Honorable IT Secretary, excuse me for that. Now I request our Honorable Director, Animal Husbandry Department, Government of Andhra Pradesh, Dr. G. Somashekaram Garu, to come on stage and give the last demo of the day.
అందరికీ నమస్కారం. I would like to bring about the facts. We have derived the benefits because of the introduction of one application in control of foot and mouth disease. Our Honorable Chief Minister used to advise us, when human beings have got the Aadhaar number, why not we identify the animals with a similar number while in the control of diseases. He used to advise us like this in department meetings. Then we thought of making an attempt by developing a software app with the help of PRAGATHI team. Accordingly, we made an attempt, and ultimately we could get the savings of about 100 to 150 lakhs every round of vaccination program to the state's exchequer. And this is foot and mouth disease affects the crossbred cattle, that is hybrid cattle, which the state has got about 70% of the population is hybrid cattle. So to get more international market for our animal products, this disease should not have been in existence in the state. So accordingly, our state has declared as an FMD-free zone in the international, there is an office called International Office Epijutis in Paris. It recognizes the states, whether the state is free from foot and mouth disease. Okay. Because of we made an attempt that all the animals which we used to monitor manually or physically through our field staff, now after advent of this software app, we used to identify the difficulties that were there in the traditional system. We could find out solutions, best solutions, and we could we could monitor all the animals whether they are vaccinated or not. And previously, before introduction of this particular app, we used to indent 110 lakh doses every round of vaccination, which we used to conduct once in 6 months, twice a year. Now, after introduction of this kind of monitoring, we now the requirement could be brought down to about 90 to 95 lakh vaccine doses every round of vaccination. That's how this app has helped us to save about 100 to 150 lakh rupees of state's exchequer in every round of vaccination. And we could also address some of the problems which we could identify because of this ePragati team, they could guide us to analyze various problems through this particular app, and also suggested us some solutions also to address those problems. Now we are able to forecast how much of vaccine is required and where we need more vaccine and where we can save the utilization of vaccine in mandals where there is no population. And we are able to identify the seasonality of the diseases because of the analytics that they have given us. Because of this, we are able to effectively monitor the disease surveillance, and now we are able to forecast how much of vaccine is required and where the disease is noticed. And because of this technology, we are able to identify disease-free mandals also. Now, because of this intervention, the benefits derived to the state. Now we are able to forecast the exact quantities of vaccine requirement and also study the disease profiles. And we are able to track areas where there is inconsistent usage of vaccine, and also identify the mandals where there is no disease at all. So this is how we are able to make use of this app with the help of ePragati team, and we would like to associate with the team to evaluate to control the diseases by use of technology, many more. And because of this intervention, I can confidently say that the state could able to save unnecessary wasteful expenditure in the uses of vaccine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And now I request our Honorable IT Secretary, Government of Andhra Pradesh, K. Vijay Anand Garu, to come on stage and take us through
Honorable Chief Minister, Honorable IT Minister, dignitaries to this function. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you today to this PRAGATHI CORE launch. It is a matter of great pride that Andhra Pradesh has been leading this digital transformation in government, making the state a role model for the rest of the country to emulate. Under the visionary leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister, Sri Nara Chandrababu Naidu Garu, and able guidance of Honorable Minister of IT, Sri Nara Garu, Andhra Pradesh has been very fortunate to witness the adoption of Industry 4.0 technologies to enhance governance of citizen-centric programs. Being a tech-savvy government of Andhra Pradesh has implemented several innovative and citizen-centric e-governance projects such as Me Seva, Me Kosam, Me Bhumi, to ensure improved delivery of services and faster grievance redressal of our citizens. One such initiative is the ePragati platform, which is one of the world's largest and most complex government digital transformation projects, which has been undertaken to realize the Honorable Chief Minister's vision of visible governance and invisible government. ePragati aims to help connect citizens to 34 departments, 336 autonomous organizations, and will deliver 745 plus services. Today with ePragati Core launch, we will provide additional services to the ePragati portal, which includes MyAP, App Store, Certificateless Governance System, eHighway, and ePragati Cloud Data Center, among others. My portal will provide a single access point to all G2C services, which will help the state realizing its vision of a higher citizen happiness index through visible governance and invisible government. App Store will act as Government of Andhra Pradesh single source of truth for all G2C and G2B apps developed by government departments. This will enable the citizens and other stakeholders to have free access to apps, thereby enabling effective and transparent digital governance. The core digital development platform is designed to work in tandem with the App Store and aims to enhance the user experience of various applications hosted by government departments. Certificateless governance system has been developed to eliminate the need to submit certificates as a proof of fact, while license management system makes the license process easier and more efficient for both citizens and businesses. Similarly, eHighway envisions to democratize the data and open it up to startups, enterprises, and innovators to drive innovation. ePragati's Cloud Data Center open up the power of cloud computing to government departments and supports departmental needs for hardware, software, and tools. The ePragati Authority has also been instrumental in designing and implementing several other innovative e-governance initiatives, such as Core Dashboard and other activities like e-office, etc. I also inform you that Core Dashboard has been cited by Niti Aayog as a replicable best practice for the state governments in India. The state has already implemented Aadhaar-based EPDS system and pension disbursal as part of its vision to directly transfer benefits to stakeholders, ensuring hassle-free availability of benefit programs to citizens. To increase adaptation of ePragati platform, the ePragati Authority has collaborated with Indian School of Business, wherein the digital transformation in public governance certificate program is being taught to officers of various government departments by globally renowned faculty along with experienced industry experts. Going forth, we shall adopt a whole of the government approach, wherein departments shall be integrated to this platform, thus ensuring that boundaries between departments are diluted. Once fully functional, the ePragati project will ensure seamless service to all the stakeholders, including citizens, businesses, and governments in terms of speed, transparency, and accuracy. The ePragati platform would result in faster G2G transactions, leading to greater savings for GOEP and increased transparency. We firmly believe that ePragati platform will play an essential role in the digital governance of citizen services, thereby realizing the state's vision for greater transparency and convenience for citizens. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And now I request our special guest, Mr. Neil Jacobson, Future World, the Global Business and Technology Think Tank, to come on stage and address the gathering.
As you've rightly said, I think this is one of the most comprehensive programs in the world, and my congratulations to all of you. It truly is an astonishing achievement. And it was the first time that I think I heard this particular phrase, Chief Minister, that I think you picked up at that session. And I must tell you, I've used this quote in presentations around the world with other government departments, with other companies, in terms of the concept of what e-government is all about. Making services invisible, except in the impact that they have to customers, the citizens. The other thing that we talked about at that launch a year ago was not paving the cow path. In other words, exactly as was said earlier on, not taking government services and just digitizing them, but actually transforming the process in order to make them truly efficient. So the two critical concepts were transformation and focus on citizens, public value, in other words. And the big question, of course, for me, having come this far and looking at this as an outsider, is what next? And there are two quick concepts I want to pick up, two critical steps. And the first is adoption, and the second is the concept of speed. Adoption, it's a really big concept. This is the biggest and boldest project that this particular government has partaken in, as you say, certainly the biggest in India and possibly one of the biggest in the world. And the single greatest success or failure factor in projects of this nature comes down to one thing, and it's the concept of leadership. Now, you've had incredibly powerful leadership from the political head. The question now is whether every single government official in this room, whether political or whether functional, is prepared to pledge absolutely untrammeled support for this process. Vigorous, relentless support to drive this program forward. That is what's going to make it succeed or make it fail. The second part of adoption is people management. This is an incredibly complex process, and having been involved in the training of the first batch of government officials, it's a really complex program for those people inside the organizations. To move from that to a government-facing, to a citizen-facing organization, to a situation where citizens themselves take control of their interface with government is far beyond technology. This is not about technology. Technology is simply the enabler. This is about people. It's about re-examining every single process, every step, and asking where are the pain points, both for the users in terms of citizens or business, but also the pain points in terms of the government officials who face the marketplace, who face the citizens, and who have to deal with these issues on a daily basis. So what drives failure? It's interesting, I did a bit of research, and there were 71% of e-government projects fail because of two factors. Lack of support from leaders, both at the political level or the operational level, and the failure to project manage the people element, both internally and externally. And I sincerely hope that these are being utterly addressed, and I suspect that they are. Now, as far as speed is concerned, the second factor, every session, every training bit that I do all over the world, I really sort of emphasize that in this age, speed is a critical factor. We have to move really, really fast. And the plan to digitize another 300 or so services in the next 6 months is, as I say, bold and impressive. But unusually for me, I urge a little bit of caution in this. It's interesting that we have to ask the question, do we fully understand particularly the internal pain points before we move too quickly? And I had a look at some of the other projects, the EU, for example, their 4-year projects to produce e-government across the EU. It was interesting. They started off by saying, focus first on the government departments themselves, modernize the processes, and then you start to develop the digital platform, and finally you facilitate the interaction with government. And I think that focus on internal government officials to make sure that there is support and to make sure that at the officials level there's understanding and buy-in to the project is absolutely critical. And of course the single platform at the bottom, which I think you've established already. Quite simply, you've put some magnificent runs on the board. Let's be very, very careful that we don't damage that reputation by rushing ahead too quickly. Now, researching this whole issue, I came up with 8 kind of challenges against which to judge the next steps. A number of them have been addressed already, but I'm going to whip through them very, very quickly indeed. I've touched on clear leadership from the top, whether it be political or functional, across all levels, right down to that junior official who at the end of the day is the person generally facing your customers. The second is a process that cuts across all government departments. There's going to be resistance from within government departments, from vendors who are currently serving departments, who are afraid that they're going to lose their contracts. There's going to be resistance from government officials because of the comfortable relationships they have with vendors. Some of these are benign, some of these even are corrupt. And of course, employee unions, trade unions, and so forth, all of these organizations are going to resist it. So we have to push back, and we have to make sure that the end users are involved to break down those barriers. Then it's a question of rethinking government services entirely. Government to see itself as a service provider. And working as I have with many, many governments across the Indian nation, I don't always encounter government officials who see themselves as serving the public. Rather, they see this as a comfortable career, a comfortable position, and the citizen comes second in this. So that laser-like focus on the customer, on the citizen and the business is the actual critical issue, a people-driven process with technology as the enabler. And as was said earlier on, this is a hugely complex process, but simplicity rather, is the ultimate sophistication. It's our job, or ePragati's job, to hide all the complexity and present the citizen with absolute simplicity. Fourthly, a multi-channel approach, which I think you're adopting already, anywhere, anytime, across any channel. Fifthly, the solid core platform, which clearly you're building. Sixthly, the concept of centralize and decentralize. It's not centralize or decentralize. Centralize the strategy, the technology, the overall management. Decentralize, as I think you're doing, the individual agency processes to the individual departments who understand those functions best. Seventh, quick wins. You've made some astonishing progress. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Tell that story again and again and again. Quick wins are what get people on side. And finally, to go back to where I started, that focus on internal change management. People, your people who actually face the customers, don't leave them behind in this critical process. It's complex. Give it the resources, the funds, the staff, and critically, the time it needs to make sure that this world-challenging process becomes as successful as it should be. And that's all I've got to say. Congratulations on a world-beating program, and I look forward to seeing it to be an incredible success in the future. Well done to you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much for such wonderful insights, sir. And now I request our special guest, Dr. Tavi, entrepreneur and former Estonian government CIO.
Pick a couple of them. So yes, I come from Estonia. I'm an engineer and former chief information officer. And our country is small, people-wise, but we are proud and size-wise, being bigger than Switzerland. It's important to us. So building an e-government is actually quite a simple task. It's like building an engine. There are very many small pieces, but if you put all them together, it starts to work. And we even have written a handbook, like IKEA instruction, like how to build an e-government. The problem is that it doesn't, like any engine, you need some liquids, you need gasoline to make it actually work. And that's a problem. So you need to put certain things in place to actually make it happen. And already mentioned, it needs great leadership, and we see this happening here. So obviously, you need good internet everywhere, and you have to continuously improve that, so that's for a fact. But what's even more important is working with the fundamentals. One of the fundamentals you have is the Aadhaar. So that's my Aadhaar. That's Estonian unique identifier. And UK government was mentioned here, but I have said to my UK colleagues and some other people, let's say in US, in Australia, you will never reach the level where Andhra Pradesh is already today, because you are missing those key elements. For example, the fact that this unique identifier means me, and I'm not ashamed of that, and I'm proudly presenting that number, UK doesn't have that. And what it means is that the dream that you had, that you combine different data sets between different ministries and silos, UK can never do that, because they don't have it. And how you connect John Smith with John Smith in different databases if they don't have the same unique identifier. So it's a huge achievement what you have done already, but it's very important that you are able to connect also the data sets from the private sector. And I'm very concerned, for example, with the development, what happens in India at the moment, that you might exclude the private sector, or you might do this complicated, using Aadhaar complicated for the private sector. This would be a mistake. So it has to be your digital name. And as you are not ashamed of your physical name, you shouldn't be ashamed of your digital name. It should be used in private sector also. Then you can combine all the data sets, not only in the government, but also between the private sector. So I'm just sharing my data just to show you it should be public, it should be this way. So another area, it's a data sharing. So we created this PRAGATHI type of platform in the year 2000. And obviously, this picture looks good because it was created for politicians. The real picture is this one. So in the moment where the silos actually start to exchange data, it will be a huge boost, and the people will benefit heavily from that. The problem is that the silos actually don't have motivation to share the data. They don't have a motivation to change. Yes, through great leadership, you can change that, and you can push them to change. But in most cases, they want to have things as they are. So we actually failed. That was one of our biggest mistakes. We implemented that X-Road in the year 2000, and year 2006, still nothing happened. So 6 years, you have great platform, nothing happens. So how you force the silos to change? So we implemented then once-only policy. So it's in Estonia, it's a law that information can be asked from the citizen only once. So if one ministry, if one silo, one department already has that information, it cannot be asked from the citizen again. So if another silo needs that information, they have to grab that from the original source. And this way, the data is actually stored only in one location. So the data quality goes up. And the speed, how can you use the data, goes up. So we have like huge amount of transactions, as you see the previous picture, like huge amount of data moving around every day, but only 5% of those transactions every day are initiated by a person. 95 is fully automated, means systems just talk with each other. So you can see like year 2004, 5, 6, nothing basically happened, and then we introduced the once-only policy and then skyrocketing. So, and 2013 there is a statistical error, so don't see that. So the way how you have built ePragati is a success. I can assure you, if you are able to motivate the silos, it will start work. I mean, it's proven. It's not only proven in Estonia, it's proven also in Finland, it's proven in Denmark, so in some other countries, so you are in the right way, so definitely no problems with that. The second question is the ownership question, and here it's very important that already product demos were made that the departments actually take the ownership of their services. And they have to have a goal to provide the best service to the customers. And that was our mistake. Like, the way how we sold, I mean, we put all this platform up, and then all departments said like, oh, like just let's then improve our services also. But the IT team or ePragati team, they can't improve the systems. Like, it has to be the departments themselves who figure out like what has to be the process, etc. And that was our mistake, and I see already here that you have been able to avoid that. So you have been putting those departments in charge, so great success. Another great thing is that if you put people on top of their data, so meaning that if people actually see who has accessed their data and how the data is used, like just sharing my own patient record, for example, I can see what doctors have accessed my data, but in the same way I can see what policeman has accessed my data or any government officer. So this means that government officers are not sneaking or peeking, because they know that if they sneak without reason, they will go to jail. And this also means that you can trust the government. And if you can trust the government, then you believe that these IT reforms actually can happen. So, and also the trust is important when you build this, I mean, we have had the first cyber war between Estonia and one of our neighbors, large countries that should not be named. Latvia. No. So we had the first cyber war record in human history, and it actually was the decentralized architecture that saved us. If you have this decentralized system like ePragati is actually designed, it helps you to fight any kind of cyber war. Because all those systems, all those elements will be built slightly differently. So to attack those systems, you have to design, like in Estonian case, 900 different cyber attacks, which theoretically is possible, but practically it's not possible. So again, like the model you have chosen is actually very good against any kind of cyber attacks, and I salute to that. Sixth, and I think one of the most important principles is no legacy. We implemented no legacy policy. It actually means that there cannot be any government system that is older than 13 years, 1-3. I know it seems to be too much, even 13 years, but, and I'm not talking about technology here. 13 means that maximum after every 13 years, the department needs to re-engineer themselves. Not only technologically, but also how the processes have been doing, how you run those processes, how you measure yourself, what services you provided, maybe you should cancel something, etc. So no legacy as a policy. There is a task, so they have to change. There has to be a rule. And the final thing, you have to continuously amuse your people. So you have to deliver them great stuff. And even if you deliver them great stuff, I can assure you, they still will say it's not enough. And the tiger is sleeping. And we should wake up the tiger. But please continue to think big, and thank you for this opportunity to speak in front of you.
Thank you so much, sir. Our next special guest, Sri Ajay Shawnee, was actually supposed to join us through Skype, but he had to attend to the parliament, so he is not able to do that. So moving on to our next special guest, Sri Anil Bhansali, Managing Director, Microsoft India Research and Development Private Limited. I request you to come on stage and address the keynote.
Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable Chief Minister, Honorable IT Minister, Sri J. Satyanarayanan, and distinguished guests. It's really a pleasure and honor to be here at the launch of ePragati Core. I really want to congratulate the government of Andhra Pradesh and the entire team of ePragati for this launch. I remember being in some of the earlier discussions of ePragati and Sri J. Satyanarayan's office, and I still remember the passion with which you actually explained the entire architecture. It's amazing to see that journey. I know persistence, as you mentioned, is the twin sister of excellence. Persistence definitely does pay off, and you clearly see the results of that. It's stunning to see the progress that's been made, not just in terms of launching the core platform, but also fascinating to see some of the departments already actually using this thing. So it's great to see this. I think ePragati truly will actually provide the digital backbone and the architecture required to truly transform this state. So I was asked to talk a little bit about digital transformation and how Microsoft actually kind of looks at this. You know, technology overall has played a huge role in terms of leading to the progress in society. And over the last few years, you're seeing the pace of change and the technology basically really kind of take off, and the pace has been phenomenal. The advent of cloud computing, the explosion of interconnected devices, the vast amount of digital data, all of that thing is kind of accelerating our foray into the digital revolution, and pretty much everyone across the globe, whether it's governments or enterprises, everybody is going through a massive digital transformation. So to really make sense of that, and I just wanted to share our view basically when Microsoft thinks about digital transformation, not just within our own organization as we are transforming ourselves, but also as we, as a technology provider, are enabling this transformation for governments and enterprises across the globe. We really think about it in what I would say 4 pillars, which we believe are core to any organization on the planet. And the first and foremost basically is the customer, the end consumer of whatever product services that you're trying to offer. And when you're thinking about a digital transformation, it's really important to see how you want to engage in a meaningful way with your customer, and whether that's resonating or not. The second one is, of course, your employees, the people who are actually going to help you build this product, services, and deliver that to your end customer. Are you empowering them with the right information? Are you providing them the right tools, basically, with which they can make the decisions that can make a difference? The third, and this is important, basically, is your products and services. When you're thinking about digital transformation, it's not just about taking your existing stuff and actually just kind of digitizing that. You really have to rethink, redesign, and really understand basically what the customer needs are, and rethink all of those services and deliver that to your customer. And finally, it's about the processes in your organization in terms of how you actually make that very efficient. As you're transforming more, you'll realize very soon that if you want to really focus on the KPIs that you want or the success metrics you want, you really have to rethink and redesign some of the processes and the business processes that you have. Now, while doing this thing, one thing that's very critical is, to understand that digital transformation is not a one-time thing. You have to continuously learn and iterate and keep on tweaking the system, if you may. And for that, it is incredibly important across each one of these pillars, you have to have a digital feedback loop. If you're going to engage with your customer, you need to understand whether what you're trying to do is resonating with them or not. If you're launching new products and services, did it actually make the difference that you intended it to? If you're making changes to your processes and your business processes, well, you need to have the right KPIs and be able to measure it on a regular basis to understand whether that's actually happening or not. Digital transformation is a journey. It's not a one-time thing. I think many people actually sometimes confuse that, hey, I've just digitized something or I've just launched an app or a service and there, I'm done. It's not. It really is an iterative process. It is a journey. It will take time for us to actually, for this to happen. As I said, I mean, digital transformation is again, as we also saw just, I guess, a few minutes ago as the different department heads came and showed some of the changes that they're making. It clearly is applicable for every sector and every department. Whether you're in healthcare, in manufacturing, agriculture, education, doesn't really matter. You really have to, in this new world, rethink the way you want to actually deliver your services. What I want to do in the next couple of minutes, I guess, I'll just kind of go take one particular area just to kind of show how we think about digital transformation and what would, and why this thing is a long-term journey. And I'll take healthcare as an example. So healthcare, just to kind of give you a quick picture, basically, I mean, as an industry is changing and changing significantly. And there are a lot of reasons for it. I mean, there are rising costs, basically, that are associated with healthcare. There's an increased disease burden across the globe. There are resource constraints. If you take India, for example, with 1.3 billion population, we don't have enough trained doctors or nurses and so on to deliver quality care. So there's a resource constraint issue. And also as a trend, we realize that if you want to actually kind of go to this level of scale, you do need to change your focus more, rather than focusing on curing a disease, look more and more towards preventive and predictive models. There's also a trend to actually have a much more patient-centric view, basically where the idea is to actually have a care continuum for the patient, even though they may actually go through various different providers, which is very, very common in India, where people don't have an affiliation to a single hospital. They may be visiting various different doctors, different hospitals, and so on and so forth. But you want to make sure that there is a care continuum across each one of these segments. So it's a very busy slide. I don't want you to focus on this one. But as we try to understand a little bit more about the healthcare industry, it just turns out, and this is in the context of India and some of the other markets, it is just complex. I mean, the journey for a patient to actually get quality healthcare, the journey for a doctor to be able to deliver the right patient outcomes and so on, is just incredibly complicated. There is an overall perception, basically, and in some cases, quite definitely a reality. Doctors don't have access to the right information. I could be going to one hospital today and the next hospital the other time, and if the patient comes to me, there is no way for me to know basically what, as a doctor, like what happened to the patient and what he's actually already gone through. For a patient, they may or may not be near a healthcare provider, basically, who can provide the right level of quality care. We do have that constraint that the moment we go beyond the tier 1, tier 2 cities, it's sometimes hard to find the quality care. So that becomes an issue as well. So if you think about the transformation of, and you think about the digital transformation of a sector, something of like this, it is, again, clearly not an overnight journey. You have to think through, just take a simple case of actually providing a patient kind of care continuum. You now need to have a way in which you can access and provide information about a patient data, basically, while he's spanning through multiple different networks, but still make it available to the patient as well as to the doctor. That requires a complete redesign of how you actually kind of keep the health records, how you actually allow for interchange of those health records across different providers, how you provide a compliant kind of secure way of actually kind of interchanging this information, and also a consent layer, basically, so that you actually get to that particular record if and only if the patient actually allows you to. So there are various different things and in this particular system, if you want to, even if you want to just care about a patient care continuum, a lot of redesign and a lot of thinking has to kind of go through this thing. Now, I won't go through each and every aspect of healthcare. Clearly, I mean, we obviously don't have the time, and it'll take like weeks to kind of go through all of this. It is, again, very important to see that as you think about digital transformation in any of the sectors, you will have to think through the entire process, all of your processes, all of your systems, and then work through making sure that you kind of have the right KPIs for your departments, have the right outcomes that you've decided basically for the consumers who are going to take the services, and then continuously track that. Cloud clearly is a key enabler for all of these things, having the right technologies in place, which I actually just heard as part of the ePragati framework. All of those layerings and all of those infrastructure pieces are already available, so I can easily see how ePragati is going to be the backbone for each of the departments as they go through their transformational journey. Now, I'll just quickly conclude. Microsoft and AP have kind of been together for a really long time in terms of helping through the transformational journey. We've been working on various different areas, agriculture, where we looked at precision agriculture and providing insights to farmers using AI, looking at ways in which we can bring quality care to remote and tribal areas, basically, again, with the help of AI. We've also been looking at how we can transform the education in the skilling space, basically, where providing a mobile-only way of actually training people and also addressing not just the skill gap, but also the unemployment gap by actually using our assets like LinkedIn in that forum. In terms of e-governance and Citizen Connect, basically, Kaizala as an application basically has been great in terms of actually creating that connect with the government. So all of these things are a few initial steps that we've taken. Now with the ePragati backbone, we can actually see that each one of these areas can actually be taken to scale, and we can really do a lot more. So with that, I mean, I'm just going to, once again, congratulate the government of Andhra Pradesh for this bold vision and the launch of ePragati Core. And I look forward to actually, I mean, as Microsoft, we look forward to partnering on that particular journey. And thanks.
Thank you so much, sir. May I now request Mr. Suman Reddy, Managing Director and Country Head, PEGA India, to address the keynote.
Good afternoon to the Honorable Chief Minister, the Honorable IT Minister, other dignitaries in the room, partners of PEGA, and of course all of the developer ecosystem who's sitting out there. I'm not forgetting you guys as well. So I know it's the interest of time. I want to try and rush through the next few minutes, and essentially I wanted to talk about the whole digital transformation journey in what PEGA is trying to do with many other governments, but again, in the interest of time, I'm going to try and quickly address a couple of themes here. One is essentially the DNA of PEGA, right? What do we think about as we're developing software? Essentially, what we think about is how do we manage complexity? How can we connect with constituents to outcomes? And this could be the government or for the private industry. We think about anticipating a constituent needs before the need arises. And how do we evolve as fast as things change, right? I mean, that's really what we keep thinking about as we build our software. And the result of that, what we do is, we build software to be very coherent, to manage the complexity. We try to be seamless across the departments, as we've heard, through the constituents, connecting constituents to outcomes. We want to anticipate the needs before the constituent can come up with. And then we evolve as fast as they can. So as a result of that, the company, if I can go back, how do I go back? Sorry? Yes. One more. Yes, that's good. So as a result of that, today, PEGA is recognized as the global leader in digital process automation across the world, and we're recognized by the leading analysts, the Forresters, the Gartners, and all of the leading companies. And we've also been recognized by these organizations. The largest of the companies, the Fortune 500, use PEGA for digital transformation. And that's not restricted to the private sector. Majority of the government sectors out there are using PEGA as the leading software for doing this. Now, the last thing I want to address, stop this, let's keep running, is in terms of the digital trends, transformation trends that we are seeing across the world. One is agility has become the core of what we are trying to do. And as we've seen, the 180 people that are developing in the ePragati platform, agility is the core of how things are being done right here. Optimal operations is what we talk about, which is essentially cloud, container development, DevOps, automation. That's become the key across the world as well. Third, we think about automotive procurement, which is really the blockchain, the low-code, no-code, the data analytics. The fourth one being artificial intelligence, machine learning that you're very familiar with. The modernization of IT through many of these technologies, machine learning, data analytics, and finally the personalized services, because every citizen wants to be recognized personally and individually. And today, these are the trends across the world, and I'm proud to say that ePragati project addresses all of these global trends in one place. With that, I want to conclude and say that we're happy to be part of this journey, and we are very proud that all of these ecosystem right now is going to make the state very proud. We're going to be the #1 state, not just in the country, but also in the world. Thank you, everyone.
Wow, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And now I request Mr. Pankaj Dhandaria, Partner and Markets Leader, EY India, to come on stage and present his keynote.
New state of Andhra Pradesh in this new avatar. On this equation, I think when we are discussing the on this occasion, when we are discussing the world of digital, I think instead of talking more about digital, I thought of talking about some of the mega trends that are shaping the world around us today. I think what I'm sharing with you here is the work of the highest order think tank of EY globally, which comprises of future thinkers from EY, other commercial organizations, other institutions, academia, and government institutions. I think what this study has revealed is some of the mega trends that are there on the slide here. I think first and foremost, I think what we are dealing with today, which ePragati is also trying to address, is the super citizen. I think we're talking about today's citizen, which is a consumer for corporations and which is a citizen for the governments. I think this citizen is today, I think, far more aware and connected and hence needs to be served very differently by use of technology. And I think I must say that ePragati is a right step in that direction because that is how we're using ePragati to serve the citizens of Andhra Pradesh. I think other important trend that we must talk about is the future of work. I think so far we have seen technology being used by humans to deliver their work. But I think in the future, it'll be very different where we'll see a very different order of human augmentation, where humans and technology will deliver together the work that needs to be delivered. And I think in this world where I think humans and technology will be delivering things together, the regulations to address will be also very different. I think, and that is a theme that I want to talk about today in a little more detail, which is the adaptive regulation that you see on the slide. I think before we get there, I think what is very important is as we see the future of work change, what will happen is that today's social security systems and the way we address social security of people is going to be transformed completely. The rules will have to be rewritten. And I think some thought on that regard is already beginning to happen with the concept of universal basic income. Similarly, I think in this new digital economy, I think industry is changing, is being redefined completely. Today's, I think, industry classification, the classical industry classification is undergoing a significant change. Today, I don't know whether we should call Ola a tech company or a transport service company, whether we should call Jio a telecom company or a media company. And I think this trend will continue, and I think we'll see businesses being transformed, redefined very, very significantly, and they'll have to keep pace with that change. I think this is just the beginning. I think there's a lot more to come. I don't know whether Maruti in the future will be a car selling company or a transport service company. Time will tell. I think in the interest of time, I think we'll move quickly to social contracts and adaptive regulation. I think social contracts are basically a set of written and unwritten rules that govern our society. and the societal changes that we are seeing driven by technology and greater awareness for longer term good of the society at large will transform these social contracts. And the way these social contracts will get transformed is either, I think we can be proactive about it and address them as things happen through reform, or we can wait for revolution to happen and then change them. I think better is to go through reform, and I think what government of Andhra Pradesh has done through e-Pragati is take the bold step of going through reform rather than through revolution. I think three principles that will drive this is inclusive, long-term, and policy-driven. And I know that this time constraint here. I think inclusive to address inequality. I think we're seeing a great amount of inequality in our society today. And I think inclusive has to deal with inequality. Long-term has to be dealt with because I think citizens today are far more demanding. And both corporations and governments have to look beyond quarters and beyond electrical terms to solve the issues of the future, which will be more sustainable and required for the society at large. And I think in this context, we'll have to talk about regulation. And this regulation has to be adaptive. I think IT Minister talked about it a little bit in his demo of the e-Pragati. I think this has to be adaptive. And what I mean by adaptive is that we cannot have regulation to regulate the disruptive technologies, but disruptive technologies will have to be used to regulate. And I think with and the whole concept of regulation has to be based on principles of open, real-time, and dynamic. Open, I think, because they have to be transparent. Real-time, because there will be no time to address the changes that are happening around us at the speed at which they are happening. And dynamic, because we'll have to deal with those changes as they happen. And I think the whole purpose of regulation is to prevent mishaps from happening. And I think that can only be done when it is open, real-time, and dynamic. And with that, I would end my talk and say that I think this journey which has been initiated by e-Pragati is an excellent platform to bring in the adaptive regulation of the future. And we must thank the Andhra government that EY has been a partner with you on this e-Pragati initiative. And we look forward to working with you more in the future to deal with this adaptive regulation change that the governments will have to deal with. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. May I now request our next special guest, Sri Sriniraju Garu, Managing Director, People Capital, to come on stage and address the keynote.
Honorable Chief Minister, Honorable Minister, Sachinarayana Garu, Vijayananda Garu, Bala Garu, and Jay Chaudhary Garu. A good afternoon to all of you. I'll take only a few minutes just to share a few of my thoughts. Those of us who have been associated with the Honorable Chief Minister for the last 20-25 years, he always, he's not only pushing now, this has been there with him for the last 25 years. And at the time when he announces something, it is always a big dream. At that time, and those of you who are there would say that, you would always think that his dreams were very ambitious. And at times people think that, will they ever happen? Now, we have the proof of the pudding, what has happened last 25 years. The few examples that I want to cite with you. One day he called a few of us, this is 25 years ago, and said, why can't we have something like Silicon Valley in Hyderabad? At that time, the total population of the IT population of Hyderabad was about few thousand. I would actually say 1,000, but maybe, just to be more accurate, I'll say few thousand of them. Then he said that, I want to create a Silicon Valley in Hyderabad. Just the recent numbers, you can see it. Hyderabad, which was not in the map at all, now it's the fifth largest economy as a city in the country. It has overtaken, Chennai also. So that's what it was 25 years ago, what it is today. Similarly, when he wanted to build the educational institutions, again, same thing, he says, I want to have the best business school, I want to have the best, technology university. Now you see the Indian School of Business and IIIT Hyderabad. Now, when the new state came in, one day I had the privilege of traveling with him to Japan. And during the journey, we were normally discussing about this concept of ease of doing business. As usual, what he said was that, why can't Andhra Pradesh be the #1 state in ease of doing business? And of course, the people would normally say that, you know, state just got formed and you just became the chief minister. That's again a very ambitious dream. 2 years from there, last 2 years, we have been the #1 state in the ease of doing business. Now, the e-Pragati also, as Mr. Satyanarayana has presented it, being one of the most ambitious projects, not only in India, it could be, you know, compared to other countries also, it is one of the most ambitious projects in the world. 5-10 years from today, fine, that maybe, you know, I don't know how many of us will be here, but just to share that, these things will become a reality. And I have 2 suggestions towards that. Just to create one e-Pragati Research Center and a certification program for the other officers who have not been certified by the Indian School of Business at Indian Institute of Information Technology, Sri City. I'll be very happy to coordinate and make that thing happen there. For those of you who are not very familiar with it, it is set up by the Government of India, Government of Andhra Pradesh, and Sri City Foundation on a public-private basis. It is recognized by the Government of India as an institute of national importance. It's a very new institution, but we'll be happy to take such a challenge. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Before taking the privilege and honor of inviting our Honorable CM, let us all go through a journey from 90s till 2018. The digital transformation and the precious moments what he has gone through an AV. So can we have the AV, please? The man behind this transformation, a true inspiration to all. Let me take the privilege and honor of inviting our beloved Honorable Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Sri Nara Chandrababu Naidu garu on stage to launch PRAGATHI CORE.
Good afternoon to everybody. Respected Neil Jacobson, Future World. Respected Tavi, Estonia Government of All, Government CAO, Anil Bansali, MD Microsoft India, Pankaj Dandaria, Ernest & Young, Srini Raju, and also IT Minister, Honorable IT Advisor Satyanarayana Garu, J.H. Chaudhary Garu, Vijayanand Garu, Balasubramanian Garu, and invitees and friends. I am very happy to recollect what we have done for the last 20 years. And also I am very happy some best international practices on e-governance and also IT, all these things some of our friends has placed before us. From the beginning, I am a strong believer in knowledge. That is how we conceived knowledge economy 20 years ago. At that time, information technology was starting. Because of internet revolution, world has become a global village. Then I thought, this is the best way to bring accountability and transparency in all walks of life. And also this is the future economy, knowledge economy. Those who will be familiar or those who will acquire this type of knowledge, they will have a bright future. That is how we started information technology. At that time, we don't know how to move forward. We had several brainstorming sessions. In a long journey, J. Satyanarayana is one. From the beginning, he was associated with this project. And also Balasubramanian, now CEO, he was student for that time. We have sent all our officers for training on e-governance. That is how he was trained. Now he is leading this department. And at the same time, we are all in a wonderful timing. Very, very inspiring time. Why I am saying this, if you see revolutions, first industrial revolution. First industrial revolution, at that time only small mechanization. After that second industrial revolution, hundreds of years. It is only electricity has come, then big industrial revolution has come. I am fortunate to witness third industrial revolution, that is information technology. Now we are talking 4.0 or 4.4, fourth industrial revolution also. Now if you see, anybody is having knowledge, core competency. If you use information technology as a platform, then use IoT, real time, for any matter for that matter. Then use analytics. We are all talking now predictive analytics, big data analytics, or artificial intelligence, all these things. Then you can do wonders. Their only leadership. As some of our people are rightly mentioned, everywhere, how to handle leaders, how to handle people, that is very, very important. Machines are available, technologies are available. Day by day, so many new developments are coming, I'm very happy so many people has mentioned very clearly. It is a long journey. It is a continuous process. Today there is something, and by evening or tomorrow or 3 months, again something is coming new. Always, that is what I'm saying, I'm a student. I'm learning things continuously. In my opinion, those who will learn continuously, adopt things regularly, they will survive, or otherwise we will be outdated. In this context, I am very happy. Some people are saying, even our friend, he said, invisible government, visible governance. My Satyanarayana is saying now, sir, future is no invisible government, it is only visible governance, or invisible governance also. So governance will be there, it won't be seen. Today, if you see, that is what I gave long back on police. Always police are seen, but policing is missing. That is the biggest challenge. Now slowly things are coming. Policing is visible, police are invisible. That is another, so many countries are moving. Ultimately, because of all devices, those who will commit mistake or fraud, you will be caught very easily. And also very severe punishment also. The stages are coming, I'm very happy for that. Today, I really appreciate all our people. Even my advisor has rightly mentioned, we are able to manage technology, but we are unable to manage people sometimes. That's why 2 years delay in this project. I'm very happy everybody in this conference has agreed. Not only transforming digital economy or digitalization, and at the same time, along with this, we have to carry people, we have to transform people, and also we have to transform our employees or leaders who are all involved in this project. You are all aware it is a very ambitious project. I know that. And also it is an innovative project. PRAGATHI is a platform where we can overcome all standalone systems, or if you see in government, every department is having its own powers. And at the same time, there is one government, there is one citizen. Citizen is common, government ambition is common, goal is very clear, but to reach that citizen, we are having so many departments, so many hierarchies. Sometimes there is an integration, there is need for coordination. We are missing all these things. Today, with information technology, we can bring integration, we can remove all hierarchies, and also will reach last mile, that is citizen. It is very easy also. In this, you have seen now, everybody is aware, Aadhaar is a big advantage for India. And at the same time, Government of Andhra Pradesh has gone Prajasadhikara survey. Every family, how many members, assets, everything. If I wanted to plan at macro level, at state level, I can plan it. I can execute micro level, that is family as a unit. That is the beauty of technology today. And also I can measure what is happening, and also regularly I can communicate also. Now we are going Budhar also. Every piece of land, Just like human beings are having identity, Aadhaar, now we are going for Bodhar with authentication, geotagging everything, so that anybody want to transfer just like share market, he can transfer his land without having any problems. This is one more big leapfrog development we are able to achieve as on today. All files in government on e-office. Naturally, whenever it is in e-office, disposal has become very easy. Monitoring also has become very easy. Now we can fix accountability also. How they are doing, how they are disposing, all these things we are doing. Even comprehensive financial management system we are able to establish. So where we are spending, how results are coming, how reorient all these things, even what we are talking about, machine learning, big data analytics, artificial intelligence, everything we can do it. Our aim you have seen. Now we have come to a stage. Things are happening. At the end of the day, we have to keep people happy. Citizen happiness is important. To keep him happy, one is all our welfare programs has to reach to the common man without any problems. Even sometimes in governments, even earlier government, there were ghosts, they used to take pensions. Today, I am very happy and proud. All welfare programs are accountable. There is biometric authentication. Everything is 100% foolproof system. Even if you see here, sometimes developments, our people have shown you all these things, how we are going. If you make it all these things, there is a value for money. We are spending some money, we are creating assets, but the assets are not durable, there is no accountability. Now with this system, you can have fixed accountability on contractor-wise or functionary-wise, durability of that asset, everything we can monitor. On the basis of that, we can take remedial measures also. Again here, certificates. For unnecessary certificates, we are harassing people. One student, he wanted to go to college for admission. 3 months, he has to go to pillar to post. For birth certificate, for nativity certificate, for mark statement, you name anything, all these things. Sometimes, some people will go to some offices. Even there, so much of harassment or delay, abnormal delay, even people didn't respond properly. All these things are causing unhappiness. Now, no need to go to anywhere. Department will do their duty, and all citizen will have access, all certificates. There is no need to obtain certificates also. That is, if you see this system, then everything is going very well. I am very happy for that. And also app stores, I am very happy. Today 20 services they have brought, another 300 services, ultimately 750 services. All certificates, 120 certificates, all these things, it is going to become redundant. And also any certificate, they can have online. They can take copy of it. Even LMS, all licenses, it is today, in future, all these things, it will be very easy. Ultimately, technologies are available. People want happiness, better living standards. Now in government, we are moving in different things. If you see, zero budget natural farming. I want to go natural farming without any fertilizer or pesticides. All over the world, if you see, This year we are going to have 5 lakh farmers with 5 lakh acres of land under zero budget natural farming. Nowhere in the world, this is the biggest cluster. Even United Nations Environment Department, World Health Organization, so many international organizations, they are working with us. Then there, you know very well, no fertilizer, no pesticides is going to use for this type of crops. Then naturally, there is a lot of enrichment of the soil. And also, quality of food is very good. And at the same time, we are going 50% green cover. If you go for 50% green cover, then naturally, so much of environmental balance. Now we are going for conventional energy, green energy. If you see today, solar energy has become handy. Earlier, I introduced power sector reforms 10 years, 15 years back. Now we are going second power sector reforms. In this power sector reforms, we want to reduce the cost. We are going solar energy, wind energy. You know very well. Now because of thermal or nuclear, there will be pollution, safety measures, so many things. But solar and wind energy, it is green energy, it is clean energy, and at the same time abundant sunlight is available in India so that we can go with this. Again, we want to go for electrical vehicles. If we do all these things, this is the best way of living. Nature we are going to associate, and we are going to use technology. This is the combination we are working. I am very happy. Today is a historic day. Everybody told so many things. I don't want to burden you. One day, I want to see in Andhra Pradesh, every day we are working very fast. That's why our friend has rightly mentioned, you are having very ambitious plan. It may be very dangerous also to move forward. But in information technology, you have to move very speed, internet speed. Otherwise, you will have a problem. Somebody will overtake. Then all your efforts will become redundant. Another thing in this meeting I am telling you, Andhra Pradesh is very strong in information technology. All over the world, if you see, out of 4 IT professionals, 1 is Indian. Among Indians, out of 4 IT professionals, 1 is from Andhra Pradesh. How things are happening, if you can analyze, exactly around 95, 96, I started information technology, 22 years back. Then we don't have an infrastructure, as our senior Raju has rightly mentioned. Very few number are IT. There are no IT companies also. Then I started promoting IT. Just like this, we had several brainstorming sessions. Then I constructed first building, iTech City, in Hyderabad. Then I went all over the world. I marketed, and finally I brought all IT companies to Hyderabad, including Microsoft. Then I started engineering colleges. We had only 20-25 engineering colleges. We made 300 engineering colleges within 10 years' time, 9 years' time. Then naturally all our people have gone all over the country, all over the world. Now if you go any country in the world, there are IT professionals from my state. That is the strength we are having. In Silicon Valley, as Raju has rightly mentioned, I want to build just like Silicon Valley. That is the climate I want to build up. But I am very happy to inform you, in Silicon Valley, highest per capita income earners are from my place. That is from Andhra people, not Americans, not any foreign nations, Indians. Among Indians, Andhra people are doing extremely well. That is the vision we have given. Now I am placing before you knowledge. It may be health. It may be education. It may be agriculture. IT is a platform. IoT and all other things, real time, data collection and analytics, cloud management, predictive analytics, everything. But ultimately, results, outcomes. That's why I'm saying always, not inputs. Process, leadership has to provide positive leadership everywhere, not only me, all our leaders. Then you have to produce outcomes. That's why I'm saying very inspiring time, any field for that matter. You have seen some demonstrations, how education department is integrated end-to-end solution. Even animal husbandry department, all cows, how they are taking precautions, thereby better animal health and also better productivity and also better returns for the farmers. So it is a very interesting. Somebody will do specialization on knowledge. They can give one of the best solutions, what Amazon.com, what Flipkart, what Alibaba, all these things, they are having core competency. They provide leadership. They are able to deliver. This is the future. Now artificial intelligence and technological breakthroughs, all these things are going to come. What I want to request all of you, we are having huge data. Data is wealth now. I wanted to create solutions for the data so that we can use data and with that solutions, and then you can give a excellent service. It may be any field for that matter. Even health. You can go now with the predictive, what are all the diseases you can control, you can control. You can go further eradication and also prevention. And finally, forecasting what type of problems are going to come another 5 years' time, all these things, that also you can handle now. That is the stage it is coming. So I'm very happy, long time. I do not test your patience now. But wonderful meeting. I heard everybody's speeches, very, very creative. And also you have given very, very excellent ideas. I told my Satyanarayana advisor, all experts you have to call every month, best people in the world, create a convention or ask them to be our state guest, take their ideas and improve all your performance indicators, especially information technology. Transforming is change. It is a very difficult process. But change is a continuous process. If you won't change, you are standstill. Over a period of time, you will be eliminated. That is the reality. But at the same time, we have to transform our people and we have to bring change. I am very happy. Originally, 4 years back, my team in Andhra Pradesh is not that dynamic. Today, I can say proudly in India, we are #1 team in getting results, not in one area, in all walks of life. It may be GSDP, it may be health indicators, it may be agriculture growth, it may be education, it may be knowledge, you name anything, even finally green cover also. Highest green cover we are able to achieve in Andhra Pradesh. This is how we are moving. We laid very strong foundation. but IT is helping us in a big way for bringing transformation and also accountability. Even our welfare department, we are using IT in a big way. Earlier, they used to give scholarships after 3 years. After passing degree, they used to give money for them. Today, every month, I am able to give money real time to his account. So this is a very interesting time. Friends, I am very happy to associate with you. This is the beginning. Today, they have given 20 services through Andhra Pradesh app store, and I am asking them 300 services. And year end, most of the services will be online. So many departments are working standalone. We want to integrate all these things in our ePragati. I am confident they are working. Ultimately, another 1 or 2 years' time, you are going to see different ecosystem. Ultimately, no citizen need to go to any office. That is my idea. Then ultimately, even app also not necessary through voice. As on today, what Alexa or Hello Google, like that, all government services will be available on voice. It is not far away. It is going to happen here. We are moving in the direction. In governance, in this creative world, everything is possible. So I'm very happy, and also so many friends has contributed here. Along with IT advisor, IT minister, even IT secretary, even Bala Subramaniam, even real-time governance, Mr. Babu, all these people have contributed wonderful results. I am thanking all of them. Even people from outside, they have given so many ideas under software solutions, and also they helped us in a big way. For everybody, I am thanking them. It is a long journey. It is a continuous journey. In this journey, I need everybody's cooperation and also your participation. With this, I am thanking all of you. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for making our lives, the citizens of Andhra Pradesh, so very easy. And now, we are recognizing first ePragati digital transformers and presenting them small token of appreciation. So, first in the list, can we have Sri K. Vijay Anand Garu, IT Secretary, Managing Director, AP Genco, to come on stage and receive the appreciation. Mr. K. Vijay Anand Garu. So now let's have the felicitation to all the speakers first. So may I now request Mr. Neil Jacobson, our special guest, to come on stage and receive the token of love. I request our next special guest, Dr. Tavi, to come on stage. And our next special guest, I request Mr. Anil Bhansali to come on stage and receive the token of appreciation. May I now request Mr. Suman Reddy, Managing Director and Country Head PEGA India, to come on stage. I request Mr. Pankaj Dhandaria, Partner and Markets Leader, EY India, to come on stage. I request Sri Sriniraju Garu, Managing Director of People Capital, to come on stage. I also request Sri J. Satyanarayana Garu to come on stage and receive the token of gratitude. I request Sri J. Chaudhary Garu to come on stage. And now we are recognizing first E-Pragati Digital Transformers. So I request Srimati K. Sunita Garu, Secretary, Women Development and Child Welfare, Government of Andhra Pradesh, to come on stage and receive the appreciation. I request Sri Samuel Anand Garu, Commissioner Agriculture Marketing, Secretary Agriculture and Civil Supplies, to come on stage and receive the token of appreciation. Congratulations to all the first E-Pragati Digital Transformers. I request Sri Venkateswar Rao Garu, Engineer-in-Chief, Panchayat Raj Government of Andhra Pradesh, to come on stage. I request Sri Ramnath Garu, Vice Chairman, RERA AP TIDCO, to come on stage. Next on the list is Sri G. Somshekaram Garu, Director, Animal Husbandry, Government of Andhra Pradesh, to come on stage and receive the appreciation. I request Dr. Giri Garu, Academic Guidance Officer, College Education, to come on stage and receive the Once again, congratulations. And we are also here to celebrate the efforts of APITA and the culmination of the job drive. So now I request Mr. Vinny Patro, Additional Chief Executive Officer, APITA, to debrief.
To the Honorable Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, to the Honorable Minister of IT and the dignitaries, a very good afternoon. And to culminate the job drives and the efforts that have been in 2017-18, that have been taken place in 2017-18, we are here to culminate. To begin with, we would like to invite some of the students who've had job offers to come and take the offers from the Honorable Chief Minister. While I announce the names, I would also request Honorable Minister of IT, Sri Nara Garu, please join us on the stage. And also I request J. Chaudhary Garu, Advisor to CM in IT, to also come and join us on the stage. Firstly, I request B. Maheshwari.
Now let's have a quick photo session. So to watch the efforts of LEAP, I request you all to stay back. Can we have the AV please?
మా నాన్నగారు డ్రైవింగ్ చేస్తుంటారు.
మా నాన్న రైతు, మా అమ్మ మా నాన్నకు సహాయం చేస్తూ ఉంటుంది. అపిత ప్రోగ్రామ్ ద్వారా నేను వివావాక్స్ కంపెనీకి సెలెక్ట్ అయ్యాను.
మా నాన్న దినసరి కూలి, ఇండిగో కంపెనీ ఎయిర్లైన్స్లో నేను సెలెక్ట్ అయ్యాను.
మై ఫాదర్ ఈజ్ ఏ టీచర్, నేను టీ క్వాంటాకి సెలెక్ట్ అయ్యాను.
మా డాడీ ప్రైవేట్ ఎంప్లాయీ.
For the photo session, I request you all to please come out. There's a stage arranged outside. I request you all to